Lisa Denae Live starts now, only on Stunner Radio, the heart and soul of the culture.
This show is sponsored in part by Flat Fee Tax Prep and Services, offering quality tax preparation, serving clients nationwide. For more information, visit www.flatfeecreditandtax.com. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you. Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Lisa Denae. Welcome to another episode of Lisa Denae Live. I hope you guys are doing well. This is the last Friday in the month of April, and let me just say I have thoroughly enjoyed this month. You know, it's my birth month, so, I've been turning up all month long and celebrating. It's been a really good month. I hate to see it go, but y'all know they say April showers bring May flowers. So behind me, you will see the new edition of Stunner Magazine. The May issue will be released tomorrow. So please, ma'am, and please, sir, be on the lookout on our social media pages so that you can take part of that issue. So listen, we are talking about walking in your purpose tonight. I have a very special guest with me tonight by the name of Earl Smith, and he's going to be on in just a moment, you guys. He is the CEO of Smooth Productions LLC. A lot of you already know him, but for those that don't, I am going to, get to know more about him and what he does. Now, you're in for a treat because he is a man of many hats. He wears a lot of hats. He has a lot of personalities from what I've seen, one of which is very funny. So you'll get to understand what I'm saying as we go on. I also wanted to say thanks to everyone who has been giving me so much wonderful feedback on our new format. I want to let you know that this is just the beginning. We are doing a whole new format for the whole station as of September 1st, 2022. Stunner Radio will only broadcast original content. That means all shows will be produced in-house. Hosts will be in-house hosts. We'll be curating our own talent. So I'm very excited about that. And I have some wonderful shows that are going to be coming up for you guys coming up in September. And also what's new is we're going to be on hiatus for June, July, and August. And let me just tell you, it's a beautiful thing. We're going to be off season and we're going to be preparing these shows for you. So on September 1st, we are coming back, you guys, with some fire. Okay, so be ready, get ready. Now, I know that you're on the edge of your seats. You're waiting to hear from our guests, and we're going to take a very short break, and we'll be right back with Earl Smith, the CEO of Smooth Productions LLC. Don't you go nowhere. We'll be right back. Earl Smith, aka Mr. Smooth, knows a thing or two about walking in purpose. Being raised in a musical family, Earl began singing and dancing when he was only 3 years old, and he continued to sing and dance throughout his youth, as well as participating in sports. After choosing athletics over music, Earl joined the military and later became a police officer. Following success in his career life and going into retirement, Earl returned to his first love, singing and entertaining. After expanding into promoting and comedy and experiencing the challenges that entertainers face, Earl started Smooth Productions LLC, where the motto is, "Everyone is a star." If you have ever wondered if your life has a purpose, Earl's story will show you that it does, and you can find your purpose by following your passion. It is my pleasure to welcome to Lisa Denae Live, Mr. Smooth, also known as Mr. Romy Rome, CEO of Smooth Productions, Mr. Earl Smith. Hello, and welcome to Lisa Denae Live.
Hello, Miss Lisa. How you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for being here. So tell us a little more about yourself. I've already shared some information that you've shared in your bio, but tell us a little more about yourself, who you are and what you do.
Well, who I am. Like you said, I carry many hats. I was raised in Gary, Indiana, and Chicago, Illinois. I grew up playing sports, went into the service. I have a musical background. My father was a singer. My sister was a singer. My first cousin was the keyboard player for the Barcades. So I've always had a love for music and sports. I, as I got older, I left sports alone and came into the entertainment business. And I seen where a lot of the entertainers needed help, needed support. So basically, that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I believe everyone is a star. Everyone has a future. It just depends on how much you put into it. So what I like to do is I like to get with different musical artists and let them kind of expand their talent. I do tours with them. I take them out of town. I just left Las Vegas with the president of Smooth Production is they call him the Velvet Voice, Mr. Mo Stovall. He's out of Birmingham, Alabama, and he's a real good friend of mine. He believed in what I was doing as a promoter when I started in 2015. So he's been riding me. He's given me direction. He's a great person. And we went to Vegas and took one of Houston's two gentlemen from Houston, Jermaine Hawthorne and Chopper Law.
Okay.
My Houston, they went with me, and we had a good time.
All right, that's awesome. Now, as I said in the intro, you didn't tell me this, but I gathered it because I'm an entertainer myself. When I saw your motto, everyone is a star, I gathered the fact that you saw some of the challenges as an entertainer yourself. You saw some of the challenges and that led you. I kind of read between the lines because, as an entertainer, sometimes you can give your all, you can really be good at what you do, but sometimes it's about who you know and not necessarily how good you are. So I feel like you saw a need in that area and
Yes.
decided to fill it and to let everybody know that everyone is a star. Everybody has something special to give. I can see that just in the things that you post on social media, and I can see that you believe that. So what can you say to people who have been really struggling and just about ready to give up?
Well, first of all, you got to have God in your life. Secondly, um, you should be having fun doing what you feel that you want to do. Okay, regardless of what anyone think about you, how they feel about you, you have to feel this certain way about yourself, and you have to keep striving. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try to do anything you want to do, whether it's singing, playing a sport. Um, a lot of time you get better the more you put into it, and that's what I try to express to people because I take it and I always use it as an example. And I take a little boy for instance, and I say, if you're a father, your son think you the strongest, smartest, handsomest person in the world until he may grow up and feel different about it. But as a kid, you're his hero. So
Mhm.
I take that and tell people use that as their energy when they're trying to be successful in the singing industry.
Absolutely. I mean, that is a very good point because most of it is believing in yourself before everybody else gets the message.
True.
That's most
True.
of it. You can't expect fans if you're not a fan of yourself first. And I
Right.
think people kind of miss that point. They're waiting for the applause when you gotta give it to yourself first. I kind of learned that myself. So the topic tonight is walking in your purpose. And I read in your bio that you did so many things. Your first love was music, but then you went into sports, you went into law enforcement, you went into the military, but you could not stay away. So what do you think it is that draws you back to music and to entertainment?
Well, entertainment, as far as music, comedy, entertainment put a smile on people's face.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can express that to make someone happy. And as entertaining, you do that. And a lot of times it brings joy out of people. And laughter is the best thing for the soul.
Yes.
And when you can make somebody happy, and you're not going to make everybody happy. But when you can make somebody smile, when you can make somebody laugh, it's not a price on that. And then you have a good time. And me, myself, right now, after, like you said, retiring from the service, retiring from the police department, there's nothing else I'd rather do than make someone happy. And it gets hard sometimes because people have expectations. They want, if you're a singer, instead of them enjoying your singing, they might compare you to Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets hard sometimes, but you got to keep striving to get better. And I know whatever I do, I'm going to get better.
Absolutely.
And I'm 100% sure with that. So I'm just enjoying it and enjoying being around people who love the entertainment.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like to me that it's bigger than just being on stage. It sounds like to me that it's more of, like I said, your purpose, helping people, putting smiles on people's faces. And then from the point of view of being a production company, of being a promoter and putting on events, you actually can change people's lives. You're taking people places that they may not have been able to go. You're booking them, you're giving them exposure, and that can change their life. So I don't know about other people and how they see it, but to me, ministry is not always inside the church. A lot of times God calls us into ministry in a different way. And sometimes it's singing soul music. Sometimes it's doing comedy. Sometimes it's doing hair. Whatever it is, it's something special inside of everyone that they are supposed to be using to show God's love to the world. And it looks like you're doing that through what you do with Smooth Productions.
And yes, and that's another thing about myself and, like I said, Mo Stovall, my president. When we take these artists, like we have a big tour coming up, July 1st, July 2nd. We're going to be in Chicago, Illinois. I'm taking Stephanie McD, Miss Aretta out of Birmingham, Jermaine Hawthorne, Stephen Powell, Icebuck, and Mo Stovall. One of the things that we do at Smooth Production, and a lot of promoters do it different, but one thing about Smooth Production, when these artists get a chance to go on the road with me, they don't owe me no, I guess you could say, they're with me, but if someone wants to talk to them, they don't have to go through me. I'm not their manager. I don't want to be their manager. And I'm putting them out there to be seen, for them to make their own contacts, or whatever. They don't owe me any kind of, well, you need to talk to the promoter who brought me here. Anything like that. And I explain that to them because I'm all about helping them. I get my joy out of helping. A lot of people don't know it, but I raised 19 foster kids.
Oh, wow.
And I adopted 4 foster kids, and they're all grown. So God has carried me. And I don't, only worry I have day to day is what time I want to get up and exercise, because I feel good. I don't know. I feel good and I'm happy.
Well, that's a blessing. I mean, the Bible does say it's more blessing to give than receive. And I think some people don't really realize it's literal. It's telling you that it's literally more of a blessing in it for you if you're giving than if
Right.
you're receiving. And wow, being a father is like one of the highest callings ever. So we have to salute you for that, to children who didn't have a father. That's awesome. That's really great. And then I also want to say go back to what you said about giving an opportunity. And I feel like some people in this industry think that if they had a manager, if they had someone who was out there doing the work for them, that would be greater. And unfortunately, that's not always the case. It's
Right.
about what you can put into it for yourself, what you can commit to it.
That's correct. That
Mhm.
is so correct. And you know, it's right now there's so many artists that I haven't got a chance to work with yet, and some I have worked with, but there's my doors are open. You know, they can call me. Um, if I can put them on the show, I will put them on the show. You know, I just want them to be humble and be appreciative. You
Mhm.
know, everybody, you know, it's like you got to crawl first before you walk. You know, I myself, you know, I like to listen to Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Oprah Winfrey. All of them got stories and struggles that they went through. And that kind of inspired me and that kind of motivated me. You know, I said that one of my favorite singers all the time was Luther Vandross. I mean, the man could sing the ABCs if he wanted to, and it would have been a
Yeah.
hit record, you know.
Yes.
And when I think about him telling his story about him losing a singing contest, I just can't believe it, you know.
Mm.
But it inspired me to keep going, you know. And my comedy I do, Mr. Romy Rome, my comedy I do. Um, I like to see people laugh. I have a few little dancing skills. I don't really practice any jokes or anything like that. It just flows. When I change into character and I put the wig on and when I put the teeth in the mouth, I mean, it speaks for itself, you know. And
Yeah.
I love seeing people laugh. And another thing I do, Miss Lisa, is I like doing stuff with people who are fighting cancer. Uh,
Mm.
I lost my stepmother to cancer some years ago, and I like to see those people smile. A lot of people with cancer, you know, they're ashamed of how people are going to take them.
Right.
What I like to do, I like to take an artist and I'll go to their house and knock on their door with a singer, and we're entertained right there in their living room, uh, bedroom, whatever, because Romy Rome can't really sing, but he can sing. But that's another story. But people, they really enjoy that. You know, I like doing things with young kids. I like to hear where the kid minds are at, and that's one thing as adults we don't do enough. Is we don't listen to our good kids. We look at the bad kids, but we don't pay enough attention to the good kids. And all kids need looking at. But
Right.
all we see is the kid that's doing bad. And we don't pay enough attention to the kid that's doing good.
Right.
And that's something I think we need to do as an adults. And I try to share that.
Yeah,
So,
that's really good. That's really a testament to the type of person that you are, because a lot of times people forget about the sick and shut in. A lot of times people forget about the children and old people. These are the people that our community seems to leave behind. So I think that it's wonderful that you're willing to go directly to them and bring some joy and happiness. And then I hope that if anyone is listening and watching, you will support him in what he's doing. Go follow him on Facebook, contact him, get a hold of him, because I know that you love doing this out of the kindness of your heart. But
yes.
I think people need to understand, money answers all things. Money is the thing that moves the world. So if you can support him, maybe it's through buying tickets, maybe it's through just buying a whole bunch of tickets and giving them to people who can't afford to go to one of his shows. Do what it is that you can, because clearly he is doing God's work in a different way. And that's why I love this show, because I like to meet people. I think that a lot of us grew up thinking that God's work is only done in the church. And that's something that we really have to get away from, because everybody ain't going to church.
That's true.
And some people ain't never gonna go to church. They'll never set foot in those doors.
Yeah.
So they can't be forgotten. They may not be reached through a sermon, but they may be reached by Romy Rome. You never know.
That's right.
You never know. It's the love that you show. It's the attention and the concern that you show. Hi, Miss Johnny. Miss Johnny says, I hear you, Earl, and feel that godly spirit in you. Absolutely, Miss Johnny. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Johnny. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for tuning in, and you are so correct. So I want to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. I want to ask you and find out, how did you come up with this character, Romy Rome? Because he's definitely a character. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You guys aren't going anywhere. It's Lisa Denae Live with special guest Earl Smith. Hey, it's your girl Lisa Denae from Stunner Radio. I am so excited about the Loud Radio and Press Junket coming June 4th and 5th to Houston, Texas, baby.
If you're an artist, manager, A&R, publicist, really anyone in the entertainment field, you need to be at this event. Last year was amazing, and I know this year will be even greater.
So hit the link in our bio. Get your tickets today. Now, don't wait to the last minute before it's too late. You gotta be in the building, y'all, and we'll see you there. Hey guys, we're back with Mr. Earl Smith, also known as Mr. Smooth, also known as Mr. Romy Rome. So before we took a break, hey, Miss Johnny again, thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying the conversation from Miss Johnny Nathan. This comment is from Miss Johnny Nathan. Thank you so much for tuning in. So before we went to break, I wanted to find out how you came up with this character, Romy Rome.
Yes, well, I've always enjoyed the Martin Show, and I liked it Jerome from the Martin Show.
Yes.
Okay, but I always felt they never show enough of Jerome. I think Jerome should have his own show. Okay, I had some people who supported me here in Mobile, had a Halloween party, and you had to go dressed in a Halloween character. So I went as Jerome from the Martin Show.
Okay.
So when we was in the parking lot before we went inside, we was out there, getting a little drink from the trunk of the car. And before I knew it, everybody inside the Halloween party was outside talking about Jerome was in the house. And I turned around, looked, because I didn't know who they was talking about. But it drew that much attention, and people liked it. So I felt, I got more skills than Martin, because I could sing a little bit. Then I could, I don't know if you know it, Lisa, but I was an exotic dancer for 17 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Another form of ministry.
Yeah, another form. And so, I use, when I do my character, I don't take no clothes off, but you can see I got a little skill.
Oh.
And sometimes when I'm singing as Romy Rome, they be listening too good. I be sounding too good, so I had to get back on the character part of it, because I ain't no singer. I can't remember no song all the way through. I'm gonna mess up after a few lines, so that ain't no problem. But I just, like I said, I love making people smile. When I do a show, I like to be out in the crowd. I like to make everyone have a good time. I'm gonna I'm gonna shake hands with the man, the old man, the young man, the old lady, young lady, because I feel like if someone pay their money
Mm-hmm.
to be entertained, then everyone needs to be entertained. Not just the pretty girls over here in the corner, not just the cool guys over here in the corner, but if you're in the room and you pay to be there, you deserve attention, and that's what I do. If I've done shows where I've seen people in a wheelchair, I go and I push them to the front of the show
Mm.
because not that people don't respect them, but sometimes people don't be thinking about this person in a wheelchair they can't see. Well, I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go get them and bring them to the front.
Wow.
And a lot of times they really appreciate that. And, there's been times I've done a show and, somebody in a wheelchair and they can't get out the wheelchair. I'll almost get in the wheelchair with them
Oh
because
Lord.
they deserve that, you know. People like to be recognized. All people like to be recognized. And that's why I say everyone is a star. And it's not up to no one to judge them individually. And I don't like when promoters or other singers knock down singers on social media. I mean, I can understand that you don't like this person singing, but social media is not the place to knock nobody down. And
Mm.
that's, I hate that.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has some sort of a gift. And just because it doesn't sound great to you doesn't mean it doesn't sound great to somebody else. Somebody like it. So I agree with you that people shouldn't knock each other. But let me go back. Let's talk a little bit about this statement that you made, because this is something that I really believe greatly in. And that is, human beings have a need for attention.
Correct.
So we see it in everyday life with social media. Some people are more addicted to attention seeking than anything. And I don't
True.
think that people should be criticized for seeking attention. But what I think is that us as a community need to do better about paying attention to each other.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
sometimes people in your own life are acting out. They're doing certain things and you're thinking, what is wrong with this person? And sometimes you just got to figure out, have I shown them enough attention? Because
True.
sometimes it's just a matter of they don't feel seen and they don't feel heard. And that is definitely the reason why I started Stunner Radio, because I felt like a lot of people have something to say and they're not being heard. And a lot of people need to be seen. And I think that's something you also do with Smooth Productions. So what can you say to someone out there who, like you said, needs that little extra bit of attention? They know they have something inside of them that's special that they would like to share with the world, but they just don't have the courage to get in front of anybody. What are your words of encouragement to pull them out there?
Well, one, I would tell them to keep God first. Okay. And second, if you feel happy about what you're doing and what you want to do, let that be your motivation. Like you said earlier, you have to love yourself first. And I mean, that is so much. And then you have to talk, because there's someone in the same shoes that's feeling the same way you're feeling. And until you talk to them or talk to someone, you won't know this.
Right.
And like you said, not to skip the subject, it's kind of the same subject, but as a police officer, what I found as a police officer, some of the people that police officers and the community look at that was so bad, their real problem was they needed someone to talk to. They
Yeah.
needed a hug, you
Yeah.
know. Everybody got a persona, a way that they got to act and a way they got to be, especially our young people. But I've seen a lot of them behind closed doors that I didn't expect, that really are hurting
Yeah.
inside.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to express what they're really going through. Okay. But by talking to them and giving them that time and listening, and which we don't do enough of, you can find a difference in that person. I've dealt with people that were on drugs, real serious, but I've had them in the back of a police car, and they can recite the whole Bible to you.
Wow.
You know, it's really a sickness, and sometimes we have to look over what we just see and listen and really feel from the heart, because these people have got themselves in a situation and they don't know how to get out of it, and they are addicted to it. But you know, some of these, I've known mechanics, when they're not on drugs, they could take a car apart and put it back together.
Mm.
You know, so sometimes we have to look past just what we see. And like I said, you know, pray to God and feel your heart and see what kind of heart you is, and see what kind of person this person is really who this person really is, and what this person really about. And sometimes even if it's a family member, you have to be careful about how you do things, because you have to realize this isn't little Johnny that I raised and grew up, and you can't take it for, well, I know he's like this. So you have to also use your mind. And you know, it's a total package, and you got to be willing to put everything in this package to get this solution to fix this problem.
Right. I agree with that 100%. I know that in dealing with people, I've learned it's very important to look at people. You would be surprised at how many people go through their whole day and nobody's ever even looked at them. People walk past them, people talk at them. They don't even look at them when they're talking to them, especially young people, especially older people. And so I think that if there's anything for people to learn from entertainers, when we're on stage, we look at everybody. We're not just looking at the people that's cheering for us and saying, "Woo, you singing, girl." We're looking at the people in the corner too. We're looking at the people over here. We're looking at you. We're singing to you. We're, you know, performing these jokes to you. And that's what makes the people bond with us and want to come and see us again, because you have to take the time to, like you said, pay attention, acknowledge people. Some people just don't feel acknowledged. And it's amazing how one conversation can change somebody's life. You never know what somebody is going through. So if you're listening to this broadcast and you're trying to figure out, we're talking about walking in your purpose. You're trying to figure out, oh, what is my purpose? I would say start there. Start with every person you encounter in every single day. Take the time to look in their face. Take the time to acknowledge that they are human and they are on the earth. You know, I used to go out to domestic violence shelters because I am a survivor of domestic violence. And I would talk to the ladies. And when I would leave, I would ask them for feedback. And that's one of the things they would say to me. They would say, it's the way you looked at me. You looked at me like I mattered. You looked at me like I was important. And, you know, some people had looked at me all day. And they would tell me it felt uncomfortable at first because I felt like you were looking, you know, through me. But then I felt value because you actually saw me. So I want to encourage people, if you're looking for your purpose, if you want to know what you should be doing on this earth, just start small. Look in somebody's face when you talk to them. Don't look away. Acknowledge that they're important. Acknowledge that they matter. And like Mr. Earl Smith said, listen. That's a very simple solution. And sometimes we don't do it. You know how many people ask you how you doing? And they gone before you even can say how you doing.
That's true. That's true.
So you kind of thinking, did you really want to know how I was doing? So take the time to just listen to people, acknowledge people, look people in the face. That is the first step to knowing your purpose. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some things that's happening in the news and get your opinion on it. Sometimes I like to do that with my guests. And because you seem to be a giving person and a person of faith, you got to be a person of faith to be in entertainment. I wanted to talk about this $44 billion purchase that just happened by Mr. Elon Musk. He bought Twitter at the price tag of $44 billion. And so I'm the type of person who believes in the law of attraction. I believe your words matter. I believe that your words mean something. And I believe that everything you say can come back to you one day. So let me pose this question to you. If you had 10% of that $44 billion, what would you do with it?
I would share it. I would help as many people as I could with it. Me myself, that's just too much money. I mean, I'm happy. I can't buy health, so it's nothing material that I want, that I need, or that I gotta have. If I could buy a contract for health, then I would. Other than that, I mean, I'm different than a lot of people. I've been around the world a couple of times. I love to dress. I've had nice cars, homes, money. I would give it away, probably to a lot of the wrong people, but I would give it away. And I'm just serious, because people who never had money, a lot of them, and I'm not saying all, don't appreciate it. They don't know the value of it. They don't know what to do with it. But I wouldn't care. I wouldn't try to keep it. I mean, you can only drive one car at a time. You know, you can only do so much. Like I said, it's nothing that I'm more concerned, and I'm different than a lot of people. I'm more concerned. I'd rather have health. I'd rather have that money in health guaranteed than, because you can't take it with you.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, I've often heard that whatever you do when you don't have money, you're just going to do more of it when you do have money. So I believe that. I believe that you would give because you're already giving. And I feel like that's also a lesson to people. You don't have to wait until you get $1 million to help somebody.
Correct.
You can help somebody with $25.
That's
you can
right.
help somebody for free. Like you said, just saying a kind word and giving a smile. If you're just tuning in, we are talking to Mr. Earl Smith. He is the CEO of Smooth Productions LLC, and we have been talking about walking in your purpose. So if you are listening to the live stream, give us some comments. Tell us what you think about walking in your purpose. And if you have any questions, by all means, put them down in the comments, and perhaps Mr. Smith or I can give you an answer. So, Mr. Smith, we're talking about some other things in current events. I'm going to ask you about another Mr. Smith that's been in the news. And, get your opinion on his trials and tribulations that he's been going through, none other than Mr. Will Smith. So what do you think about the whole situation?
Will Smith. Oh, that's a touchy one. Well, I don't think what he did was right, because as he's a comedian and an actor, and Chris Rock is a comedian. And as a comedian, a lot of times things roll off your tongue. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't think what he said was anything. I don't think he meant anything bad about it. She's Will Smith's wife is a very beautiful lady. With hair, without hair, hair doesn't make a person. As you can tell, I'm bald head. You know what I said? You know what I say about bald head? 2 bald heads make a booty. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 bald heads make a booty. But
that's kind of true.
I think he was very wrong for what he did, and it could have been handled in a different way. He didn't. I don't even think he won any points with his wife by doing that. So I don't think he should have did it. I think he's gonna, in one way or another, he's gonna have to answer for that.
Yeah, I think that He's already answering for it in a lot of different ways.
Correct.
I personally went back and forth about this. At first, I was like, yes, finally, somebody. Because Chris Rock, he does a lot. He's always talking about somebody. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, kind of don't answer verbal with physical. If
Correct.
somebody verbally assaults you, you verbally handle that. You don't skip to physical. You don't have a right to put your hands on anybody. I feel like you should only use physical when physical is used on you. Now, if you put your hands on me, then I feel like I have every right to try to take your head off.
True.
But if you just say a word to me, I don't feel like physical is a proper response. However, at the same time, I must say, as a Black woman, it felt kind of good to see someone defend a Black woman. A lot of times we are the butt of everybody's jokes. Everybody talks about Black women in weave, Black women with big booties, Black women with big hips, lips, noses. Everything about us has been a joke for so many years. Just for that split second, it felt kind of good to see somebody, even if he wasn't doing it for the right reasons, risk it all to defend a Black woman. That part felt kind of good. So I will say that on behalf of Black women, a lot of us from a very early age, since we've been in elementary school, somebody been calling us big booty, big lips, bald head, ugly, dark, whatever. And so I think from that point of view, it felt kind of good. But I hope that everybody finds peace in this situation, and hopefully we can move on. And I really hope we don't ever see anything like that again.
I don't think we will. They already go back. They already go like 10 seconds before since the Super Bowl. So now they might go another minute before to make sure if it happened, we don't see it. So
yeah,
you never know.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. Like I said, in a way, protecting the Black woman, it is a good thing. But like you said, he didn't go about it the right way, and I don't know. Did he do it? Did he do it from his heart, or did he do it because he felt he had to do it? A lot of times, men do things I guess to get a couple of points, but and then sometimes I've heard people say is, well, if you don't, it's like if you smoke cigarettes in your house and you drop ashes on the floor, and you have company in your house and they smoke, they're probably going to drop the ashes on the floor too. So Will and his wife, they might have look out there on social media with their personal life, because if you want someone to respect your life, you have to respect your life.
That's very true. That's very true. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because as an entertainer, I'm sure that you've seen sometimes when people are pursuing a career in entertainment, they put too much personal in their social media. It's like, for me, when I see it, I really just want to pull them to the side and say, this is not the place for that. Like, if you're using social media for your music and for your acting, your comedy, whatever it is, get a counselor or a therapist. Get you some friends. Social media is not the place.
Yeah, that's true.
So when you deal with that, as far as especially taking entertainers on the road, what do you say about that? I mean, because a lot of stuff happened on the road. I'm just saying.
Well, one of the things I try to install in artists that I work with and that I have worked with is, come to me not as an artist, but come to me as a friend first. Treat me like I'm family first. I'll mention his name again, Mo Stovall and Big Row out of Birmingham, Roosevelt Williams. These are two guys, and John Haley out of Mississippi, Jackson. These are guys that has directed me, Earl Smith, Smooth, Roll Me Wrong, in directions. These are guys who have pulled me to the side and told me how I should handle certain things. And me being prior military, prior law enforcement, I don't have a problem with taking criticism and taking positive um, comments from people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at with that. So I try to reach out to people and tell people, because everybody is grown that I work with. Stuff I do work with some of the kids, but everybody's grown with it. So even if you feel somebody wrong, you still got to give them that respect that they're grown. It's just like talking to my mother. My mother's not always right. She has her ways just like everybody else. But still, I have to give her the respect that she's my mother. So when she's wrong, I have to use all kind of techniques to tell her she's wrong, because I might get slapped, but I
Techniques.
still, I got to tell her. I'm not going to let her think she's right, but it's a technique.
Oh, yes.
So that's how we have to do everybody. So just when you're talking to someone who's grown and they're wrong, just think of it like you're talking to your mom or your dad.
Wow, that's a good point. I want to shout out to Kathy. Hey, Kathy Brooks, she's watching. She said, love that point. Respect your life first. Absolutely. It's funny that you say you have to try techniques to tell your mom that she's wrong. It reminds me of my kids. If they see that I'm doing something that is not working, I could see it in their face. They're so uncomfortable. Like, oh my God, how do I tell mom she don't know what she's doing? It's like they say, Mom, can I help you? Can I give you some help? Can I give you a suggestion? And that's true. That's a technique. I like that, what you said. We should do that with each other. We should do that with other people in our lives, just not point out they're wrong, but do it in a way where they can receive it. I think that's a really, really, really good point.
And when you do that, and it always worked for me, they'll come back and tell you later you were right, or they're sorry, or they'll apologize.
Yes.
But if you come across wrong and they know you're right, they're not going to come back and tell you that.
Right.
They're not going to do it.
That's true. That's true. You know what? That's a very, very good point, because it's always in the delivery of a thing. It's not so much what you do, but how you do it.
That's it.
So yeah, that's absolutely true. But I want to say real quick before we run out of time, tell us about your shows that you have coming up, the artists that are going to be performing. We want to give them a shout out, and how people can be a part of the audience and participate in the show.
Okay, tomorrow I'm going to be traveling with Mr. Jeff Floyd to South Carolina. It's basically his show, but I'm going to be there with him, managing, making sure things going on. May the 6th, I'm going to be with Jeff Floyd, Lil Runt. We're going to be in Jackson, Florida. You can follow my Facebook page and you get the location. May 8th, Mother's Day, Woman to Woman Tour. I'm going to be in Louisiana with Miss Stephanie McD. You can go to her page or my page. May 27th, I'm going to be in Jackson, Alabama with Mo Stovall, Jermaine Hawthorne, Miss Stephanie McD, Stephen Powell, Mr. Icebuck, my homeboy from Gary, Indiana, and Miss Aretta from Birmingham, Alabama. May 28th, we're going to be in Mobile, Alabama, the same crew. And like I said, other shows coming in June, not sure yet. Hopefully I'll get to make it up to Houston with Miss Lisa. But July 2nd, we're going to be in Chicago, Illinois. July 1st and 2nd, follow me on my Facebook. My phone number 251-895-7755. Thank you, Miss Lisa, for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. I hope I got some good wisdom and words out to your fans. I look forward to the Stunner Radio magazine. Is that going to be on sale, Miss Lisa?
It's not on sale at this point. It is for free. It is a digital magazine, but in the future, we will be offering hard copies. I mean, every time we do the magazine, especially when I'm on the cover, I'll be like, I need this in the physical form. I need this to sit on my table. So definitely in the future, we're going to be offering hard copies. Thank you so much for your support. We are sending out the link tomorrow for the May the May issue. So I really appreciate you for mentioning that. And then I do want to say I'm from Chicago. So shout out to
Okay.
my Chicago people. Yes, I've only been in Houston for 9 years, but shout out to
Okay.
my Chicago people. Yeah, I'm from the Midwest. I was born in Chicago. My family lived in Chicago. We lived in Calumet City. We lived in Niles, Illinois. I've lived in Evanston. I'm sure you know where that is in
Yeah.
Chicago. Benton Harbor, Michigan, where my dad was the mayor for several years. Uh,
Okay.
Midwest. I'm all Midwest. I'm new to the South. If Houston is
All right
considered
now.
the South,
Okay.
I'm new to it, very much so. I am definitely a Midwest girl. So shout out to my Chicago peeps that are listening and watching. You guys, go follow Mr. Earl Smith on his Facebook page so that you can be there in the place in Chicago. Tell him Lisa Denae sent you.
That's
Making me
right.
miss my city just by mentioning it,
Hey,
just by saying
I
it.
miss it too. Hey, I'm gonna send a shout out to my boy in Chicago, Mr. Theo Huff. He's a Southern Soul artist. He's on the
Oh, yes,
rise.
I've heard
He's
of him.
doing a lot down here in the Houston, Atlanta, um, Birmingham area. Theo Huff, that's my dude. Y'all look out for him.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've heard the name, so he's got to be doing some big things.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm not really familiar with Southern Soul as much as I want to be. I'm more of an R&B artist, but the Southern Soul is kind of calling me a little bit. It's calling my name a little bit.
Oh
So I
yeah.
don't know. I might dip my toe in the little water for a minute.
Hey, a lot of those R&B artists are stepping over into the Southern Soul. Yeah.
I see. I see. It's a little intimidating for me because I'm not familiar with it. I'm not really familiar with it. As much as I listen to it, I'm like, well, this just don't sound like it's all different. All Southern Soul sounds different to me. It's not one sound, which is good.
Well, it's new. They're getting it together. Southern Soul remind me in the early '80s. I was in Los Angeles, California when rap first came out, and Southern Soul remind me of that. It's coming together. It's like anything else. It's work that needs to be done, and that's one of the things as a promoter. I feel that by not knocking down people and trying to smooth things out, I'm helping with this work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And before long, it's going to be all together and they're going to have it figured out. But right now, it's trials and tribulations is going through it. But it's a good thing. And more people need to accept it as a good thing than a bad thing. Back in the day, and I tell this story. I remember my father talking about Bobby Blue Bland and B.B. King. They had issues. Michael Jackson and the Osmond brothers had issues. Everybody said Michael was better than Donnie. Donnie was better than Michael. So that's okay, long as we keep it peaceful and not disrespectful.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm trying to help the Southern Soul smooth out.
Oh, that's real good. That's real good. I like that because you're right. Every genre has its drama. Every genre has its culture. And sometimes it's even harder for people who are not in that genre to get into it because it's like, no, you don't sing this. You go back over to where you came from. But I
Right.
think that is good, that people are accepting R&B artists. People are accepting other artists into the genre because everything come out of Black folks, no matter what nobody says. All the music that is music originated with somebody Black. So we got it all in us. So I
Yeah.
say just embrace whatever you do and do it to the best of your ability, which it looks like
Amen.
that's what you do. So I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the show tonight.
Thank
To
you.
everyone who tuned in, thank you for being a part of the conversation. If you're listening to us right now on one of the replay platforms, please let us know what you think. I do go back and check the comments from the replays. So let us know what you think. And don't forget to follow Mr. Earl Smith on Facebook. And you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, And you can go to my website, lisadenae.com. But also, I want to encourage you to subscribe to Stunner Radio's YouTube channel. We are building our YouTube channel. You will get a notification if you subscribe, and hit that little bell. It's going to send you a notification every time we do a broadcast. So thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. It's all about walking in your purpose, you guys. We were not sent to this earth to work and pay bills. That's not our purpose. Our purpose is deeper. So whatever your purpose is, do your best to find it and walk in it, like Mr. Earl Smith did, and like I'm doing. Everything I do with Stunner Radio, with Stunner Magazine, is all about my purpose. And so I want to encourage everybody, walking in your purpose, sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's very hard. You think I could really just go get a job at Walmart and just not be bothered with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Let me alone. But we all have a purpose. So with that being said, I hope and pray that everyone listening will find yours and walk in it. And I encourage you to join me next time. I have a very special guest by the name of Krishandria James, and she is the CEO of Blossom Up. She does female empowerment. And you guys, she is a wonderful young lady. You're in for a treat. Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. Any last words, Mr. Earl?
Yes, I'd just like to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Ms. Lisa. And I had to send a shout out to my brother. He's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Derek Salter, son of Jody. We miss you. I love you. Peace.
All right. You guys, see you next time.
I hate you, but I love you at the same damn time.
Hey, it's your girl Lisa Denae, and you're listening to my single Love Hate, available now on all music platforms.